Okay, today we're going to be looking at my favorite Ken dolls collection, even though my Ken dolls aren't really Ken dolls anymore. They're a hybrid. What made me think that I really wanted to do this video was because I had recently found some fashion packs, which, oh, I meant to have them here for this video, but they're not here. Anyway, I don't think that the Ken clothes, the regular standard fashion packs, aren't going to fit the Kens that I like to use and play with. But let's take a look at what I'm really liking these days. So if you don't follow me on Instagram or here, you don't know that I love putting heads on Max Steel bodies. Here's a Hasbro mashup. This is, I got a G.I. Joe, like a classic repo G.I. Joe, and put his head on a Max Steel body because I always wanted like a prototype G.I. Joe. I kind of want one. I never did find one. I want to get a refurbished, not a refurbished one, but a reissued one. A remake, like an anniversary one of some kind, with the regular a classic G.I. Joe body, but the one that I got was on a newer Hasbro body, but they used the original head. So I do like how olden timesy he looks. The skin tone isn't perfect match here, but I really wanted to get an old-fashioned G.I. Joe. The first Ken doll? No, I guess G.I. Joe came out after Ken. But he has an old-fashioned head, and he was always a little more, the first Ken was kind of a twig. He's really thin, so so his clothes could fit on just the same way that Barbie. And speaking of classics, we might as well do these in old-timey order from the late 70s. I think 79, 1980. Sean from the Starr doll series. So it was like this high school Barbie subset, and they had one boy character, and this was her boyfriend, Sean, and he has this crazy, very current kind of hairdo right now. Well, maybe that hairdo might be going out of style right now, but he looks like a TikTok boy. I put him on this Max Steel body, which was actually a Barbie issued romance novel, Blanche Devereaux special 2-pack with a Ken, and this body's so cool because they took off the electronic forearm. Actually, they didn't make a new arm, they just put two, I don't know, what do we call this? Right arms on his, they put a right arm on his left arm, right forearm, to give him this. And the skin tone is slightly different, so it does match some of the, putting these two together does make his head match the skin better. But yeah, sometimes I put different, I made it so that I can easily put heads on. This is his actual head. He has, I didn't have to do any alterations for him, but you will see some here. Yeah, we'll see some in a second that I actually had to sand the heads down. You can see a tutorial on here about how I actually take the classic heads and sand their head down, but his head was made on the right peg system for this to work out. And his neck is a bit long when I put this on, but when you put clothes on him, it looks especially good. So that's good. And that's in contrast to some of the new Ken Fashionistas, like these two, which World Peacekeeper pants on them are great. These bodies fit classic Ken clothes so well. The same with the buff body Kens. So I guess we'll get into buff body Kens soon. But let's continue on with the Max Steel. I decided to push these heads down all the way on the pegs, so they're kind of like, I mean, that is how the necks would look on guys who were this big in real life. So I kind of have accepted it, and it's so funny because these last two Fashionistas that came out, well, there are two newer Fashionistas right now, but these were the last two before the most current two that aren't really readily available yet, but I'm on the lookout. I always get every Ken and every Ken fashion pack, even though I don't know if the Ken fashion packs can fit anymore. But I kind of like these, and it is really cool that both skin tones matched so well on this bodies. I think this guy's a little darker, but it still works, and this guy's a little lighter, but it still works. And this is a classic Ken head. They added a smile to his face, and I really like this head. It's very unique and cool. Mattel has the best face sculpts, head sculpts than any doll company. This is the original Max Steel. I acetoned his face because I also love prototypes, and this is one of the coolest Max Steel bodies because it reminds me very much of the $6 Million Man action figure with the electronics, and yeah, it's really cool. And this is, I like this body a lot. It also has double jointed legs. Oh yeah, that is something that I should mention about these. Not all Max Steels come with these double jointed legs, but I have collected, thrifted, and had friends find them for me in other countries and stuff, and I'm very, very happy to have quite a few of these double jointed bodies. But I mean, also this one, sometimes I can't decide, do I like this standard articulation one with no robot electronics, or do I like the ones with the tattoos and the electronics but come with all of the great double joints? Now, I don't like double joints on regular Barbie dolls because it really cuts them up, and but it works on a male body because men are more muscular, and the little more rivets and divots and joints, it looks more like muscle definition. On the girls, it kind of makes them look like thin robots. So I don't mind the double articulation on the male bodies. This is a good time to jump into him. This one is, I'll show you. Sometimes I just whittle down the peg and wrap tape around it so that I can put the head up just a bit more. This one, this Ken, I love this Ken sculpt. It's my favorite Ken sculpt ever made, and I really like the vitiligo on his face. I think he looks like he is from the future, and with the space stuff on it. This is my favorite Ken doll, and it hasn't changed in a long time. But I also have other favorites, like my... Did I say that I took off his face with acetone? This is the original Max Steel face. I wanted to make a prototype. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you some of my other kind of prototype-like things that I made. Oh, and I also skipped over these Flavas. So I recently got these, and they're thrifted, and they were a Mattel brand, a Mattel line of dolls. They have skinnier bodies. I think you can see more of them on, well, you can definitely see them on Instagram. I'm not sure if I actually did a video. Maybe I do have to do a video of dressing these guys. But there are two characters in the Flavas line. They have weird bodies and weird articulation, but I kind of don't want to change their heads. They actually have the right kind of heads for head swapping, but it looks like their necks would be very long if you did that. Also, I think that the bodies are so weird and unusual that I want to keep them as is, and you can see I really like these outfits that I put them in. Hot Wheels skate sneakers fit on... I love Hot Wheels skate sneakers, lots of videos on those too. Mixing and matching the bottom parts of them so you can make the colors look good with the outfits. I like to do that, and some of them are smaller, but these guys have smaller feet, so that makes that some of the smaller shoes I can use when putting them on these guys. And they're just so unique and weird, and their bodies are such a weird shape, and they're special and cool, so I'm definitely keeping them as is, and I'm very happy to have them. And they can wear my wigs, which we might stumble upon, the wigs that I usually put this Owen head. Everybody always asks. I usually put a Dating Fun Ken wig on him, depending on how my hair looks. Look, we have exactly the same outfit on today, because, well, that's why I like these things. But here's an example of how well classic, like when Ken was bigger and buffer, and I don't know what to call it, in the 80s Ken. They stopped doing it in the, I don't know when they stopped using that 80s body Ken, But he started out really thin, and then he got really buff, and then he got really thin again, and now he's buff again. I can't wait for them to make this buff body in other colors so that other Kens can use it. However, you are limited to the amount of pants that you can find. So he wears sweatpants all the time because sweatpants are what can fit on him. Or classic 80s Ken fashion packs, which I need to hunt some down. I need to go to some larger doll shows or flea markets or something, because I haven't been able to. They're not very expensive when you do find them, because nobody really likes Ken. People like Barbie and not Ken. But that is the buff body. Should I show more of the buff bodies? Yeah, let's go. In here, so I do like the heads that fit on. I've been collecting all of the Disney heads, which that'll be in another box, from the new Mattel Disneys, and I have been putting them on whatever bodies they will skin match, because I really love Mattel's face sculpts. I acetoned his beard off of Flynn, and I just really like this head. Again, we've got that same hairdo going on. That super 90s. Where's Sean? This TikTok boy haircut. Kinda cool, kinda current. I don't like, also, if you notice, none of my favorites have hair, because I hate dealing with hair. But hey, there's a segue for my, I'd say this is my second favorite doll, is the Hunter Huntsman. And I just think that Hunter Huntsman is the coolest Ever After High character, and I'm so happy that he fits on this body, because I even had him on this. I had him on a Max Steel body before, and the skin tone was off, but I really wanted to play with him, and I wanted him to have more articulation, and I wanted him to be able to wear more clothes than his thinner Ever After High body. And this is the hairdo that I have, and mine might actually have gotten a little bit longer in the back, so I might have to deal with that. But I love everything about him. I love how the larger head looks. However, when I mix and match him with like Barbie or something, it doesn't really work. But, however, one of my other favorite doll lines, is that here? Yeah. Oh, and also that takes us to another segue, even though we're not ready for this segue yet. But he looks really good with Wild Hearts Crew. So he is a Wild Hearts Crew boy that we never got. So I do like, when I'm doing like dioramas or taking pictures together, these heads match the same size, because they don't fit in the same world together now, do they? Because the heads are just too off. But these guys, they can hang out together. So I am happy about that collection. We may as well, why I do have the Wild Hearts Crew box. I do have, who is this? This is Alistair. Alistair I found next to a dumpster outside a thrift store, and he was really damaged. And again, I don't really like hair very much. His hair was in good condition, but his body was a little crushed in places. But I was fine with that, because putting those heads on a regular Ken body, so this is a regular made to move Ken body, which isn't so bad when I do hold it up and I'm looking at it, but just in comparison to the buff body, I definitely prefer the buff body, but there really isn't that much of a difference. Anyway, he has a really strange outfit on. Monster High Create a Monster wigs, my favorite incarnation of Monster High. I've been playing a lot with my Monster High Create a Monsters. Oh, we have a segue to that too coming up. But that is kind of what Alistair's wearing right now in some Barbie Extra clothes. Barbie Extra clothes are so good, and they make them in large enough sizes that they actually fit Ken. Just a tip for your regular Ken. I'm sure that even on the buff, some of the stuff will fit, but as you can see, the jackets fit well because they made them so that they would also fit on Kirby girls. Did you check out my video? I can't believe I haven't taken a picture of these guys yet. I've put them in their little outfits and made them little warriors, but Slate is kind of a Ken doll anyway, so I use Cave Club Slate. I have put on Monster High, Create a Monster blank faces, and I just think that they look like a little cool prototype warriors, and I don't want any faces on them. I like them simple as is. I have them with Masters of the Universe weapons. So good. From Snake Mountain. Can we take another little break here? Oh, no. We'll segue into that later. There's some fashions we're going to talk about. The latest Prince Ken, putting him on the buff body is so good. He is that perfect skin match for that. That is such a cool new head. That double Prince European line, very strange doll collection for Dreamtopia, but also very, very cool to have this head because it is, again, another TikTok boy, but very, 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 very cool head sculpt. I really like it. And then there's this head from the, what do you call those, color reveal mermaid, the only mermaid boy from the color reveal sections, the only color reveal guy in general. So I do have a couple of them. I guess, see, I don't like hair, but in the ponytail, it's under control. Also, one of the coolest heads ever made by Mattel because of the white hair. So weird. Long rooted hair. Sometimes I don't mind the rooted hair. I guess with this hairstyle, especially, hey, same as me. As long as you keep it short on the sides, you can keep it looking tidy. You can hide it. You can put it under a hat. You can tie it in a ponytail to get it out of the way, and or you can gel it back. And also, you just feel clean on the sides, and you don't have to have gel or anything on the sides of your hair and getting down your skin or hair products. I'm just a naturalist, and I just can't deal with the fuss and the muss of the hair. But yeah, this is kind of what my hair looks like right now, actually. But I have it and under my hat. But very, very cool head. This is actually the Superman body, but it is practically the same body as the new Buff Ken. The skin tone is very much the same too, so it is interchangeable. I've had to swap out hands on the Superman bodies, but the Superman bodies are obsolete. Batman Superman bodies from the Barbie line, obsolete now that we have this made to move with even more articulation. And yeah, so cool. And another one, another Ever After High that I have on here is what's this? Charming, Dexter, Daring. Why do I always forget his name? Anyway, Prince Charming right here. He looks so good. Molded hair, so of course I love him the best. Well, no, Hunter's better. But buff bodies like this. And then I have all these other heads in here, which are good skin tones. Here's one that I should highlight. Oh, Video Game Hero Ken. So good. I can't believe I don't have him on one of the bodies. One of my favorite Ken heads of all time. Here are some of the hair. So I love these wigs from Dating Fun Ken. Some people are always ask, well, where is that Ken head from? And it is when I use him. But it's basically an Owen from Jurassic World, and his face just looks cranky like my own, so he kind of does look like me, and so that's why it's perfect for my mini-me. But he fits these Dating Fun wigs so well. And the one that I normally have on him is this brown one that looks the same as my hair when it's longer. And yeah, it's such it looks seamless. It looks so good. So I do love those wigs. They're also good to put on the original Dating Fun Ken. Oh, right here. Here he is. Such a good head sculpt too. I love that one, and it matches the body. So this body is a great skin tone for all of the early 2000 Kens, which this one is. So yeah, that's hard. And that one, he's super GI Joe military because of his short cropped hair. He looks kind of like the very first Ken, but updated. So that is a favorite Ken head of mine too. Oh, and this is the one, an honorable mention. This skipper head looks amazing on the buff body. It looks so funny to have the young boy, I guess another TikTok boy, muscle TikTok boy. He looks really cool with the buff body too. Is there any more? I know people love that head. I'm not a huge fan of this. An action figure head. That's cool. Oh, Prince Eric. This is a early 2000s Prince Eric, which is one of my favorites too. But I can't have too many Prince Erics. Let's segue now to that. I think all of my Disney ones are in here. So yeah, me looking at these Ken dolls right now, I am kind of accepting this body isn't so bad. So I have to remember, I just really like these bodies better. It's a little bit shorter. Ken is like 6 foot. This guy's like 5'10", I would say, in Barbie Land. But it doesn't look so bad. Again, this is my favorite Ken head, so I have made this my movie Ken, and I have made this my other movie Ken, and then I have made this one my Alan, which is kind of strange because they are the same head sculpt, but they actually look very different, don't they? So yeah, I like using him as an Alan, dressed up as Archie. This is such a great outfit that I'm having a hard time taking it off. This whole Roots outfit that was on a curvy Barbie, as you can see, I'm getting lots of use out of Ken wearing these Roots clothes, which I really, really like. This guy I really, really like. He's looks on his original body. I don't think that there is a head that I have that I like better. His hair is tied up and under control. So yeah, and I really think that he's a cool one. So he's hard to take away his head. Naveen looks so good on this body. I should definitely do some fashion. Yeah, these are great. This is reminding me I do have some dolls that I can put on. I can do fashion packs openings with, because these guys will fit all of the fashion packs, the new current ones, better. And this guy from Frozen, I never saw the movie, but I just thought his head was amazing. This is a Hasbro head, though, on a head. This is the new Mattel Naveen. And do I have another Prince? I thought I had another Prince. Oh, it's Eric. I had to use his head. I'm going to need another pale skin. When I made my Alan, I took his body away, but I don't like this Prince Eric anyway as much as I like the other one that I showed you, which goes on the darker body. So maybe I should just make a buff Prince Eric, which I've taken lots of Instagram pictures with buff Prince Eric. He should probably get a permanent body, though. I only have so many. It's not so hard to take the heads off and replace them with one of these. That's why I have these heads separate in this box with the ones that can be swapped out accordingly. This new Ken guy, I really like his face from the Fly series, but he has molded on hair. And yeah, I don't know. Oh my goodness, what's happening with my light? I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about him, because I really like him, but he has hair, and then he has this semi-movable body. It's actually, this is great articulation. This is the kind of articulation I like. And who else do I have in here? This guy, I kept him on. I do like all of these looks, Barbies and the BMR Barbies, but there's only so many heads. This is a great fashionista. I like him with his hair, and like, he's special, even though he has hair. And then I like this one a lot, and then this head, that's pretty cool too. This one surprised me. It's funny that I don't use this one, but I just like the cartooniness of a molded on hair to make a toy a toy. That's how I feel. I like my toys to look like toys. I don't want them to be too realistic. It's fun to make things realistic, but not too realistic. Oh, I can't believe this video. I might just have to turn that light off. I can't believe how long this video actually is because I have so many favorites. That light is gonna have to go, I guess. Oh wait, if it'll let me turn it off. There we go. We don't want to have a seizure or anything. Okay, so then there are all of these bodies that are not made to move. They're not double jointed, but they are standard articulation for Max Steel, and I have put on some of my favorite classic heads. So we have the two 90210 boys on these. They're older, so I think their head color has changed a little bit, but they're pretty good matches, and I realized that I wasn't going to play with them with their standard 5 points of articulation bodies, so I decided that I was going to cut off their necks to here, and then I sanded it down and I made it all smooth. That's where I made a video about doing this with these guys, and I am so happy with these, and I do play with them all the time. That was one of the segues where I wanted to tell you about this video, which I would have done it in this video if I didn't have so many favorites. But I have, a Flavors jean jacket, and then I have these pants from the 90210. Oh no, these are Flavors pants, but these are 90210 pants, I think. And then 90210 jackets, and because those are on these buffer 80s Ken bodies. So it seems that they were making them in the 90s. I don't know when they switched over to the thinner torso, but these buff bodies do fit. So I am, and I haven't done a video where I actually put these clothes back on the 90210 guys, their original clothes, and I also want to do it with all of the other 90210 girls and put their clothes on the dolls that I like to use. I'm not sure I want to keep these because I don't know. I'm not really into the proportions of the bodies and things, but I do like the two boys and I do like their clothes. So I do have the whole collection of the 90210 girls, which I do think are kind of cool, but I do have to be selective about what I want to keep, and if I had to choose between them and Wild Hearts Crew, I would want to choose the Wild Hearts Crew. Back to the classic Kens that I've put on Max Steel bodies, a standard 1980s Ken. This one I actually filled the head with glue. And it worked out really well, and I just stuck the peg into the hot glue and I let it dry, and this is probably the best head that I have on a Max Steel body because it's fitting so well. I didn't do that on camera, but I mean, come on, that's cool. And then another classic is Barbie and the Rockers Derek, and what's also really cool is this was his glove. And what inspired that was I had these WWE shorts from the WWE Barbie doll line. They're not Barbies, they're Mattel dolls that are action figure dolls that are girl Barbies, but their shorts fit on these Max Steel, and they had these cuffs which are great for covering up the electronic wrist. So that inspired me. There was just one little stitch in this little cuff thing so he could wear it like a fingerless glove, but I just took out the stitch and it turned into one of the wristbands, just like my WWE ones or my wrestler guys. We'll see them in a second, but I had this Max Steel body with a tattoo on it. It fit Derek so well. He looks so good. This is one of the best Mattel heads ever made. So cool. Again, kind of looks like a current TikTok boy. And I love how the electronics are hidden, and the same goes for all of these other ones. These are two other favorite heads, Fashionista heads. This was a 60th anniversary Ken, and love these shorts, and I'm so happy I get to use them. And I just made all of these little kung fu wrestlers, and then this is one of the Disney Raya. Is it Ray? I think it's Rhea's daddy. Is that true? I'm not sure. Anyway, he looked good on the Max Steel body. A Hasbro head on the Max Steel body. He's just such a cool head. Not the perfect skin match. At least it looks better in person than it does on camera. But I like this combination a lot. This is an official Max Steel nunchuck, which is cool. And he also has a dragon tattoo, so I thought that was perfect for his character, because the show's all about dragons. And then I have a couple other heads that I do like to swap out. And I guess this is the new Prince. This is the other new Prince, but this is a Ken head that we've seen before, even with the brown hair. I do like it on the Max Steel body, and then I have this classic one, and this is a good example of how I cut them off, and then I sand out this. And again, I do have a whole video on that, but I do like this Ken head. And as I get older, this might have to turn into my mini-me, because it kind of has this light brown, almost gray hair, like I am getting. So I might have to grow out of this cute mini-me versions and go into old man mini-me. I might have to track down one of those old man Kens. Oh, actually, I have a couple of those Grandpa Kens. I might have to look doing to that, but still, he looks rugged and old, so that is why that is such a good head for me to use. Do we have more in here? That really is the rebodied headed ones that I have. I can show you some of the other Max Steel. This is original Max Steel. Sometimes it comes with molded on bodies. These are just some other thrifted ones that I've had. He looks great in hoodies, I think. These are some outfits that I have put on him that I can't take off because I think they look so good. So he had this headband one on. I didn't know what to do with that. Another molded on top version. That's why there's not much I can do with that. So I've just kept him as is, but he looks really good in that outfit. So we did that. And then this one, the black headband was so unique and cool, and I knew that it would look good. And then this was a broken one, so I think, yeah, it has like a chipped knee, so I covered it with a leg brace, and I put him on. I made him into like a TikTok boy with his cropped, I guess that's what I call any current fashion, because a cropped who wears a cropped sweatshirt? Anyway, it looks good on this guy too. He's got some shoes on. Just a funny outfit to match his headband. Short, curvy shorts and pants do fit on the Max Steel and Buff Ken bodies. Tip: World Peacekeeper pants on this guy. He is a Max Steel villain, but I love to use him as a Ken doll. He has just a regular, oh no, he doesn't have a regular body. He's got a snake body and it's a bigger torso, but some of the bigger classic 80s Ken clothes I can squeeze on him, or an oversized sweatshirt or stuff. And then he has the same regular pant size, which World Peacekeeper stuff fits well in there. And then apparently a Ken shoe. Some classic Ken shoe falls off, but those are classic 80s Ken boots that I really like. And then, oh, here's another great outfit that I have on this Max Steel. We have the, what is it, Shaving Fun Ken's sweatshirt, a classic piece. I have a few of these. That must have been a very popular one. He looks fantastic in that, and I matched it with one of my favorite shorts of all time ever released from Barbie, because it is something that I would wear. So I like that outfit a lot too. And then we have another villain with a robot arm. He's got painted on legs. His legs are completely black, but you can cover that up. And then he also, oh yeah, his whole torso is black, but cover it with a hoodie and show off his cool arm. That's what I like. And there's a little bit of articulation in this arm, so yeah, you can't not like him. And then you press his you press his stomach and his face explodes. So that's, again, takes me back to Steve Austin, $6 Million Man. It's like having a 1/6 scale version of the $6 Million Man. I wish that happened. And oh yeah, and that brings me to this robot guy like Maskatron. The skin tone doesn't match at all, but normally you would have his mask off anyway. I don't know, it just seems to work. He is a robot with a fake head anyway. Of course his head wouldn't match. And then this actually is a better version of, I think the alignment of my other one isn't as good as this one, but it really shows the electronics in his bicep. And I put on space pants and some really cool space boots that I had. Like, look at those Ken sneakers. I found those thrifting and they're official Mattel Ken. Those are amazing. And then this is a top from a current fashion pack that does fit. So it is worth trying on the current fashions because sometimes they do fit on them. And this whole space look is so cool. Maskatron was a character from the $6 Million Man. And to recreate something like that, I always wanted one and never had one. It's so cool. These are electronics from Max Steel, I believe, too, that are supposed to be strapped onto your leg like that. Coolness. Yeah, love that guy. And then, I do have another one of these where I have this character, and this character didn't have the right head peg, so I had to cut and shave this down, and I haven't really put this on his head. I had him on a different body, but realized that I had him on a Max Steel body, but the skin tone didn't match. Does it match? Do I have a blank one? I thought I had a blank one here. There was a blank one. Odd. Oh yeah, here it is. The skin tone doesn't match very well. It kind of matches the buff Ken body better, so maybe that's what I will do. I will probably, you can just build this up with masking tape like I showed you and put the head on better, but I mean it does fall on to the body like that. So such an ugly, you don't get many ugly Ken dolls, so it's good to have that option. And then I've never really decided what to do with this Monster High head that I always really liked because no molded on hair. But one of my favorite Monster High characters, he was a muscular Monster High character. So he's never looked good on any of the bodies, but his head peg is the perfect Max Steel body. So I'm kind of waiting to find one that is all solid black or something, and then he would look cool because he'd look like he had a wetsuit on, and I wouldn't have to worry about the skin match. So I know that they do have one out there. There's a Max Steels out there that have all painted, all molded in black skin for scuba diving and stuff. So that is kind of what I'm holding out to have that on, because his head fits perfectly on a Max Steel body, and it's a really cool head. His name is, I forget, you can leave that down in the comments below. And because I talked so much today, we really looked at a lot. Those are my favorite Kens. Not conventionally favorite Kens, but I'm really have fun in the past couple of years making the Kens my own, and it seems like, none of them are on their original bodies. But that's how I like them. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know your favorite Ken if you want to down in the comments below. I love you. We'll see you next time.